Hey guys, what's up? It's Sports Talk with Gio here, and today we are going to go over the UFC 205 main card. Actually, we're not going to go over just the main card this time. Sometimes I would do the first fight on the preliminary card, but this card is so big for the first time being an MSG to where I am going to go down to the third fight on the preliminary card, and that we are going to jump straight into it, is Rashad Evans, who is 19 wins, 5 losses, and then 1 draw, versus Tim Kennedy, 18 wins and 5 losses. Now, this fight is going to be good, kind of, if both of them don't have octagon rust, which is a very big thing, especially coming with Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy hasn't fought in a while. He has been very distant from the UFC and been kind of just living his own life outside of it. And Rashad Evans, he's coming off of, I believe, a knockout. I don't remember to who, but I remember he was coming off of a knockout. And he has not looked so good ever since coming back from that long hiatus that he has been, and he's been really sticking to the desk job that Fox has given him. So because of that, the fact that I have seen Rashad Evans lately, and it has not been good at all, I'm going to go with the beast, former military man, Tim Kennedy here. It'll be a close fight, and I don't know if it's going to be all that good, honestly, because I really do believe in ring rust. So I'm going to go with Tim Kennedy here in an average fight. Now, moving on to the next one, Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Michael Johnson. Now, this is interesting, because Khabib has not gotten, knock on wood here, has not gotten injured yet, and a man that is probably the most injury-prone fighter in the UFC. And versus Michael Johnson, who has looked good since losing to Nate Diaz. He has turned everything around, and it really looks promising here, but it's against Khabib. Khabib, who is 23 wins and no losses, and that makes it really hard to go against Khabib, and until Khabib loses, I will not go against Khabib. I think the winner of this also gets to get the winner of McGregor-Alvarez, which I will get to later. But yes, Khabib wins this, I believe, in a decision, because I don't see Michael Johnson getting knocked out. I know Nate Diaz almost did it, but he did, and he tagged him a few times. But I don't see Khabib knocking him out. I see this going the full 3 rounds. Next one. This could very well be a main card fight, but just because it's MSG and this card is stacked, that is the reason it is not. We got Frankie Edgar, who has 19 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw, versus Jeremy Stephens, 25 wins, 12 losses, and no draws. Yeah. This one is going to be good. This one is going to... This reason this is main eventing the preliminary card. This is... Frankie mixes it up well. Stephens is a hard hitter. I know we tried to call out McGregor in the press conference. I go Frankie Edgar here. He's coming off a loss to Aldo, where he just got froze. Aldo just froze him. There's Jeremy Stephens. I'm going to go with Frankie here. Frankie embarrasses him. First round knockout. I just see Frank Edgar's too advanced of a fighter. Jeremy Stephens is way out of his league here. So I'm going to go with Frankie Edgar here. And if Frankie Edgar loses, out of shock to me, if Frankie Edgar loses, he'll retire or go back up to 155. That is my honest opinion. I think he really does want to fight Conor McGregor. Now we get to the main card. First fight on the main card, Miesha Tate versus Raquel Pennington. Miesha Tate, 18-6-0 versus Raquel Pennington, 8-6-0. This could honestly be the preliminary main event. I like Frankie Edgar's fight over Miesha's fight, but Miesha's more of a draw, and that's why they're going to get her to buy it. Miesha coming off I believe the first or second round knockout to Amanda Nunes. Whew. Misha wins this. It's not a big fight. I think this is another fight of where Misha's just going to overpower Raquel. This fight is interesting and kind of depressing because Kevin Gastelum is filling in for Robbie Lawler. This fight would be amazing if it was Robbie Lawler, but it's not Robbie Lawler, and I guess, well, I have to move on from it. Either way, Donald Cerrone has looked amazing with his 31 wins inside the octagon and 7 losses. This isn't a title fight, so Donald Cerrone I'm going to choose because I do believe Donald Cerrone highly at the 170 division. He has looked amazing. He's looked sharper, crisper. He doesn't get the first round jitters anymore, and it is very impressive of what I'm seeing. I think 170 is the weight he should stay at. I know he's debating going back down to 155. I believe Joe Rogan talked him out of it. But Kevin Gastelum, tough winner, I believe, on the John Jones versus Chael Sonnen season. But I'm going here with Donald Cerrone. Boo! I want to say second round knockout over Kevin Gastelum. Donald Cerrone is just a beast at 170. I believe the winner of this, if Donald Cerrone wins, he gets a title fight. We move on to the next one, which is Chris Weidman versus Yoel Romero. I don't even know why this is a fight, honestly. I mean, Yoel's good, but Yoel's 11-1-0, Chris Weidman 13-1-0, of course, coming off of that just embarrassing loss to Luke Rockhold. He was just utterly dominated. He wasn't listening to his coaches. It was just, I don't know what was wrong with him that night. Then he started to get something going, and then he threw like a spinning wheel kick, and Luke just knocked him out. It was sad to watch, but here I expect a rebound from him. You're going to see a little bit of octagon rust in the first 2 innings. I expect this to be This is going to be a decision. It's going to go all 3 rounds here. It's weird seeing 3 rounds in a Chris Weidman fight. But this is going to go all 3 rounds. Weidman beats Yoel Romero by unanimous decision. Now we get to the title fights. You got Joanna Jędrzejczyk, sorry if I totally butchered that, versus Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Sorry if I just butchered that too. You got 2 girls from Poland here. Joanna's 12-0 and Karolina's 10-0, both undefeated. Joanna, I think this is a lot like, this reminds me a lot of Rousey's division before Holly Holm came along. I think Joanna's just on a completely different level than everyone else. There's not a lot of competition in the division, and Joanna is an elite fighter with non-elite talent in the rest of the division, kind of like Ronda Rousey was. I go Joanna here, knockout first round. No, not first round, 4th round. Knockout 4th round. Tyron Woodley versus Wonderboy. Now this is surprising because Tyron Woodley I really liked. I called him beating Robbie Lawler like 4 years ago. I said if Robbie Lawler gets beat, this is going to be the guy that beats Robbie Lawler. Well, he knocked Robbie Lawler out in 1 round. That had to be very impressive. I was very shocked to see that Robbie Lawler got knocked out because I did not think he was going to knock Robbie Lawler out. I thought he would beat him, but I didn't think he would knock him out. And then afterwards, what happened to him afterwards, man? He just turned into this disrespectful piece of shit. Like in the post-fight interview, Wonderboy works for Fox Sports 1, and he was interviewing Tyron, and he goes, "Hey Tyron, I'm the #1 contender. How about we get this on and we get this fight going?" Out of nowhere, I expect Tyron to be like, "Yeah, man, you're the #1 contender. I really look forward to fighting you." You know, the classic PR move thing. You're the #1 contender. I really look forward to fighting you. Going on to that. But no. Tyron Woodley just goes, "You wanted Robbie Lawler. I want money fights. You can fight Robbie Lawler." and got pissed when Dana said, "You're fighting Wonder Boy." Because Wonder Boy has laid everyone in front of him. And then once he beat Rory McDonald, there was really no denying him a title shot. And anyone that did is just flat out insane. If that happened, I believe Woodley, deep inside, knows Wonder Boy is the better fighter. And I believe he was trying to avoid Wonder Boy at all costs. I have Wonder Boy knocking him out, second round. Wonder Boy's the new champion. He's going to be a long reigning champion. He's just, no one has seen anything like him. He's like a Lyoto Machida, but completely different. It's something we have never seen before, and it is very fascinating. The way, the style he fights. You didn't really get to see it in the Rory McDonald fight, and I liked that. I liked the fact that he didn't get to see it, because that shows that he can adapt. He can adapt to everything that happens in a fight. He trains with Chris Weidman, which I really like, and Ray Longo, and I believe Matt Serra's in that gym. It is just flat out amazing what they're doing in that gym. I really like Wonder Boy in this fight. I really like him as a fighter. I believe he's going to be a long reigning champion, and it's going to be fun to see what he does. It's going to be fun to see him versus Lawler, because I believe that'll happen. I believe his next fight after he wins this fight will be Donald Cerrone. And if Donald Cerrone doesn't beat him, I don't know who is going to beat him. I believe Wonder Boy, if he gets past this fight, he will fight Donald Cerrone, and that I will come to that when it gets there, because that could be a fight of the year. But speaking of possible fights of the year, we're going to the main event right now, and that is none other than Eddie Alvarez versus, despite what Dana White says, the biggest draw in UFC history, the 145-pound champion that will never defend his belt, Conor McGregor, the greatest trash talker of all time, and he probably, pound for pound, has the most power in his hands, besides Rumble. I don't know, him and Rumble are pretty good. Time to break down this fight. I'm going to do a full and complete breakdown of this fight. Insane. I'm staring at the stats right now. Frankie Edgar is, if you look at this, the man is a pure striker. But I say Frankie Edgar. Oh God. Eddie Alvarez. If you look at this, he's a pure striker. I know he's been training with Mark Henry, and he says he's a striker, and he is a really good striker. Don't get me wrong, he's a really good fighter in general, but I believe against Conor McGregor, he's going to go in, he's going to try to stand the first round, and if he doesn't make it out of the first round, then Conor will be the champion, of course. But I believe if he can get into the second round, which I believe is his goal, I think what's going to happen here, what Eddie's going to do, is within the first 10 seconds, Conor will have to defend a takedown. I believe within the first 10 seconds, Conor McGregor will have to defend a takedown. I think Conor is going to come in here, and he's going to get put on his ass by Eddie Alvarez. I believe Eddie will not stand with Conor. I believe Eddie is smart. Eddie is a smart fighter. He did not stand with Anthony Pettis, and I see this being the same exact thing. He's going to come in here with all this hype behind his striking. He's going to build up all this hype behind his striking, so Conor expects to strike. And then as soon as Conor goes to strike, he's going to take him down, and he's not going to go for a submission. He's not going to pull a Chad Mendes, though. He's going to wear Conor down. This is his goal, because he said Conor will gas, as was shown in the Nate Diaz fight. He's going to do his best to wear Conor down, and then he's going to knock him out in the late rounds, the fourth and fifth round. In the championship rounds, he's going to try to put him down, but I don't think that'll happen. I think Conor will knock him out within the first 4 minutes of the fight. I mean, Conor is just such a hard hitter, it's hard to deny him the fact that he's going to do that. Conor's going to knock him out within the first 4 minutes of this fight, and I believe Conor will be the champion. And if it goes after 4 minutes, Eddie Alvarez will be the champion. But, alright, thank you guys for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.